In this lesson, you will be working with objects in layers with Lesson 4. Before you begin creating and modifying objects, you should understand how layers work in InDesign. Every new InDesign document contains one layer. You can rename this layer and add more layers at any time and this time when you work on a document. Placing objects on different layers lets you organize them easy and makes them easier to be selected. You'll experiment with these layers to learn how the arrangement of the layers and the placement of objects on layers can affect the design of your document. The first thing you need to do is come over to the Layers panel, which is over here. If you do not have the Layers panel, come up to Window and select Layers. It's right here. Right now we have two layers available. We have a graphics layer, which holds our images, and we have a text layer. If you click the eyeball, this is the toggle visibility. If you select it on the text layer, all of the text disappears. It's not deleted, it's just not visible at this moment. If you open this layer, you can see all of the items in the text layer itself. For example, this is the yield sign. It's on a text layer, but it is an image. If you zoom into the yield sign, you'll see this is the selection tool, the direct selection tool right here. If you select it, you can move the yield sign. If you deselect the yield sign, this little blue box turns off. If I keep the yield sign on, I can also move it into the graphics frame, the graphics layer. In order to do that, I can select this and just drag it up until you see the white line right below the graphics layer. Now the yield sign has just turned red. This red means graphics. This is my yield sign. I can minimize this and I can minimize this, and I can add a new page down here. This is a new layer. Layer 3 is up top right here. I can drag this down below text, look for my white line, and if I double click on it, I can rename it background, BACKGROUND, and click OK. In this Layers panel, you can look at multiple different items. For example, I can zoom out, Control-Alt-0, and I can see my different texts. This is a text box on this left side. Here's another text box on the left page, and it goes in order on which items you place. In this case, we need to look for this right here, New Day, because this has overset text. In order to fix overset text, we're going to change the size of this text box. First, we're going to drag it down to right about here. This second blue line, the second blue grid line. Once you have that done, click in your gray pasteboard to deselect it and come over to your direct selection tool. Once you're here, you need to click on the text box again, and you'll see little handles. These are smaller handles than the normal text frame handles. These small handles help you adjust the text. If you click and drag, you can see the text also follows along. Bring this down to this bottom frame guide and click OK, and this is now formatted appropriately. The next thing we need to do is use the type tool, and we need to add another text box over here. I'm going to actually select this white box first and zoom in here, because this is about where we need to be. I'm going to deselect it and then make a text box with my type tool. On this blue guideline, we're going to go over 2 columns, which is about 17 p6, and we're going to go down to a height of 8 picas, 8p0 right there. And you'll notice it's on the text cursor is on the right hand side. This is because of the paragraph styles that have already been preset. If you don't have paragraph styles, in order to get that, you need to come up to the top panel and search for paragraph styles, which is right here in type. Once you have this cursor flashing, you need to type in customer testimonials, customer, and then we need to make a forced break. In order to make a forced break, it's a shift enter, shift and then press enter. This automatically makes a forced break, TESTIMONIALS. Select your text, and in the paragraph styles panel, choose testimonials. These are the other options available, but we don't need them to be left formatted or photo credits. We want testimonials. Once that is done, you can come over to this right side page, and we are going to be adjusting this column, this red text right here. Arrive smart, leave smarter, evolveseattle.com. In order to do that, you need to go to text frame options, and that's going to be, you need to select the red box first, and then object, and then text frame options. In the text frame options, we need to change the insert spacing on the left side to 3p0 and make sure this is unlinked. We don't want it to be linked. Right here, select 3p0, and the right side is going to be 3p9. And you're going to click OK. You'll notice there's a gap on the left side, and you'll notice nothing happened on this right side. That's completely fine. We'll get there in a moment. Next, you're going to click right here before www, double click. Once you've done that, you're going to need to go to type, and when you are into type, you need to go to insert break character. Actually, no, insert special character and go to other, and then choose right indent tab. This shifts the evolveseattle.com to the right. I'm going to zoom out, Control-Alt-0, and I'm going to go over to the text, Shawneen H. If I use my selection tool, I can zoom into this. We want to have this 3 columns of text. The way you do this is you need to go up to Object, Text Frame Options, number of columns, you change this to 3, and you click OK. But it still doesn't look formatted appropriately. We want this Sylvia, we can use our type tool, we want Sylvia to be on this second column. In order for Sylvia to be on this second column, you need to go to Type, Insert Break Character, and choose Column Break. This looks a little more appropriate for this second column, except for Jeff. He needs to be in this third column. So you go to Type, Insert Break Character, and Column Break. Zoom out, and this is what we have so far.